Didn't know StreamYard had background music. I'm just doing that. This one's called Feeding the Ducks. Into space, like this one. Very weird. Hello. The very few of you watching. I'm gonna give it some more time. Let some people come in. I'm sure everyone saw quite enough of my face yesterday. But if people are around and want to come learn a little more about the thing I did, please hop in. Feel free. Obviously, you can't hear me if you're not in yet, but you know how it is. Hello, Javier. One-man show this evening. I'm gonna try and be looking at comments and doing everything all together at the same time. Hello there, Brian. I guess I should this back home. Cool. Just finishing getting set up here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and share this. Delantius. Oh, hi, Anna. Hi. Alrighty. That, bada bing. Cool. We got the website. Cool. 6 of you. 3 minutes in, 6 of you. I think that's pretty good to get started. Hello, the 6 of you. Thank you for joining me this evening. We recorded our first match today for the new season. So crazy shit. We're already we're kicking off strong. And I am remembering what the smell of marker smells like, and I need some Advil, but that's just me. Hope you all had a nice break from yesterday to today. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to be going over this this website I made. I'm really excited about it. I spent all too much time. Little backstory. As you saw yesterday, the Hall of Fame started. Me and Cody talked about that like a long time ago, like probably a little after summer, maybe like in late September, early October. Long time ago. And so that was the idea, was to create a Hall of Fame. And I sort of sat back and said, okay, but like, where is this Hall of Fame going to live? Because like I have a lot of cool things on my Excel spreadsheet that like I keep for the league, but like that's kind of lame if that's just where like I have an Excel sheet that says Hall of Fame and that's the Hall of Fame. So I was like, I want to put this somewhere where it can be seen by all. And then it just freaking snowballed, because I was like, if I'm going to make a website that has the Hall of Fame on it, I would also want to put, you know, the stats on it that I usually put. I'd want to put rankings on there. I'd want to put matches, links to the channel, awards, all that nonsense. And then it just snowballed. So how long ago was the idea? It was probably around like a month after me and Cody talked about the Hall of Fame is when I like signed up for Squarespace, bought the URL multiplexentertainment.com, and then I just started exploring, got building, and this was the result. So I hope you all like it, but let's start by going through it. I'm going to be like dipping back and forth so I can try and see comments, but feel free to ask questions at any time. I'll probably just be answering them as we go along because I don't have someone to like star them and save them till the end. But we'll start. So this is the top. I'm thinking the homepage is. Oh, I guess the other caveat thing I should say is like this is also still a work in progress. If you have any suggestions, things you think like would make this look cooler, tabs I could add, like pages I could add, like oh we need a this section, like please let me know. I would love to keep building this and keep doing this. What I'm thinking is that this homepage is just always going to have a video playing. This video is the promo video that Koho made for the last final act, playing in slow motion. So this is just the home cover page. You can see some clips from the most recent year. And then, yeah, this is just sort of the establishment page where we get started. And here's the meat and potatoes. So we'll actually start with the Hall of Fame since we went very in depth in that yesterday. But the Hall of Fame is at the very bottom. You have Melee, Fandom, and Fanzone. If you click on one of them, it brings you to this is the official Hall of Fame. And these are the inductees. So you have Andrew Barr, Brian Michaels, and the Concept. And I just clicked on Brian Michaels by accident, but perfect. We'll use this. Starting at the top, you have Brian Michaels' name, class 2024. You also have three of like his biggest moments. This is, I believe, when Wild Stallions won the championship for the first time. This is when Wild Stallions won the championship, or they defended the championship against Ginyu Force. This is when Brian KO'd Rizzy to win the contender match to go on to face Jeremy Adams. All of these are also links. If you ever want to watch these link directly to those matches. So feel free to click on them. There's one for every player and every team who was inducted into the Hall of Fame. Down at the bottom here, I looked at what some of their favorite movies were. So Brian was Raiders of the Lost Ark. And all these records, all these awards, all these accomplishments are accurate at the time of induction. Me and Cody talked. We'd like, for the most part, that Hall of Fame inductees be people that aren't really playing anymore. It's not a requirement. Like there may be a year where we're like, no, like this is the person and it can't be anybody else. And they happen to still be playing. But for the most part, we'd like it to be people who aren't currently playing. And that doesn't mean those people can't play again. Like obviously Scully's coming back to Fandom. Barr is still playing in teams in Melee. So it's definitely, there's not a set criteria. It's more of a preference. But with Brian, you can see that all of his records here, his statistics on every team he's been on, whether it's Wild Stallions, Mild Stallions, Brian and Jacoby, all the way back to Strange Brew. Brian was on a team called Strange Brew that played one match. Lots of stuff going all the way back. I dug through the data, the history of all this stuff, all award wins and nominations, and then anything that isn't covered in stats or anything like that. So this page exists for everyone. I'm not going to go through every single person, but this page exists for everyone who was inducted into the Hall of Fame. At the bottom, you can always click home. That'll bring you back home. And yeah, like I said, you go into FanZone. Tim's the only person. People will be added to this as we go. But that's the Hall of Fame. Very exciting. Definitely look at that. It's got a lot of stuff about the people that we just inducted. So it's great. Will other multiplex people add stuff to the site like Koho for Melee? Good question. I'm working with Koho at the moment. I'm going to explain in a minute how the back end of the thing works. This question will be answered. So let's start up top. I think a simple one to get out of the way is the awards page. If you go to Multiplex Awards, you hit go. I also should note that a lot of people have been looking at this on like their phones on a mobile device. So that's great. I built it more in mind with like a laptop, a desktop. So it may look a little funky, some of the pages, if you're using a mobile device, but I might look into changing that so it doesn't look quite as funky. Like, for example, if you come to this awards page, these are all ranked vertically, and it goes like 2019, 2024, 2020, 2020. So like, it looks a little funky, but if you look at it on a laptop, that's how it was intended. And then you could click on any of these to see winners. You could click to watch the show. Last night's show is already uploaded to this button. So if you missed it, you can go here and click on it. And then, yeah, it has all the winners, all the nominees, the whole shebang. So that's the awards. Pretty simple. Let's go to, so then you have a fan zone, melee, and fandom fights page. All of these are very similar. I'd like to see added the factions with their members. I don't know that factions are I don't want to say a thing. They're definitely a thing, but at the moment, like managing rules are out the door. I've never overseen factions anyway. Um, so I don't really know that factions are going to play a big part going forward. It might be a good idea, like when we talk about like the blog that's coming. Yes, I saw your promo. Yes, I may go back and add that. When I was doing that, I was like Brian, when I was doing the stats and stuff, I sort of skipped some of the like face of the year and all things like that, but I may go back. I agree. Fractions are not considered official because decimals are where it's at. But no, I agree. But that doesn't so like we'll get to like the blog. If someone wanted to write like greatest factions of all time or whatever, like that'd be cool. But at the moment, I don't know that factions have official members or that they're even official anymore. That was never really my department. But let's go into FANDOM just to see what it looks like. So these 3 pages all look like this. They have rankings, matches, records, and then a 4th button. Under Melee, it's rules. So if you click on the rules button, it takes you to just a PDF version of the rules for Warzone or Melee. They were called Warzone at the time when they were written, but it's the rules. Movies for FANDOM, it's just the all the categories with every movie under them. And if you don't like reading this and you prefer pictures, you can scroll all the way to the bottom, and Tim's letterbox list takes you right to Tim's letterbox. So you can definitely do that. That's easy. I do like percents as well. You're right. That's probably the superior one. These 3 buttons: rankings, matches, records. These are the same under FANDOM, Melee, and FanZone. Starting with rankings. So this is where I said I'd explain. So these are linked to a separate Excel sheet that I've published to the web, but you can only find it by clicking on this. That sheet only gets updated as the matches come out. The sheets that me and Koho keep behind the scenes are updated as matches happen, not necessarily as matches are released. So like I said, we just shot a match today. Somebody won, but we're not gonna update the rankings and the stats because then you'll know the outcome of a match that is set to release in February. So as of right now, these rankings, if you click on them, at least for FANDOM, are updated as of last year. So at the end of last year, as of the end of last year. So Brittany ended the champion, et cetera, et cetera. If you go down here, you have everyone who ever played is in the retired / inactive portion of things. Everyone's down there. And then at the top, you have all the people who are actively playing. And then you have their current season records for last year, points. It's all pretty self-explanatory, but this is basically a copy of the version that I keep behind the scenes to keep everyone's stats, accuracy, wins and losses, things like that. And then down here, we have the same one for the teams. As I said, it's accurate as of last year, so this still lists Joe and David as the champions. Soon, very soon, I will change this so that it is reflective of going into this year. A lot of teams that are listed here have dropped. A lot, like David and Joe retired. The belts are currently vacant. That will show before matches start showing. So that's the rankings tab. Pretty simple. If you go to matches, this is where I kind of lost my mind and did too many things. But it's okay because it was fun. Same thing. This Excel sheet is linked to a separate Excel that I own. So when you click on this, it goes to that separate Excel that I own. The reason Koho can't directly add stuff to it is because I own that Excel sheet. But I'll be working with Koho and Cody to get a schedule out up to what they are ready to release to you. This is here. It's just not loading. Matches. Current schedule. There we go. So yeah, you can look at this. You can see the entire schedule for Act 1 right here. Yep. So any questions all the way up to the title match. Granted, I told you all it in last year's Q&A, but yes. Will you have a pay version like Schmodown on Patreon so I can send you all my money for the illusion of being part of it? Good question. I don't think we need a Patreon for if you all want to send us money. You could just do that. That's not me soliciting money. I'm telling you, don't do that. But if you did, like, how am I stopping you? I don't need to like make a Patreon. Like, I could just pass someone on the street and they could be like, "Here's $5," and I'd be like, "Thank you. Have a good day." What does the colors mean for matches? That's a good question. So, purple means debut match. Someone who has not played before. Brian, you can actually see your debut match is right here. Your match will be debuting on March 17th. And you're playing Joseph Olivas, so that's exciting. Yellow or orange are contender matches. Yellow are title matches. There's going to be and then green, the last one standing at the top is like it's like a special event. So last one standing, Fandom Frenzy, things like that are green. There's other colors. If you see a red match, that usually means it's a retirement match. The tournament, each tier of the tournament has its own like color shading. It gets darker as you get closer to the finals. That looks really cool. You can see all that if you go down here where all of the fandom match history is. So I broke it down by acts. So these acts were all named. I even went back and like posthumously named acts that weren't named at the time. So like this one, Guns, Ships, and Kings. This was when me and Tim played Boatman and Albert for the teams, and then Koho challenged me for the singles title. I did that. So you can go back and look at all the match history, literally all the way till the very beginning, which I call so I called this part the Koho years. It didn't break up very well for me to like define it into matches, so I just sort of like took it in quarters, called it the Koho years, and then the first year are these two things where fandom was still getting its footing, but you know. I think it's still worth going back and seeing. It's a part of the history of things. Like it's where it all began. So I definitely wanted to pay respect to that. So that's still there. So yeah, feel free to look through all these. I spent a lot of time just like graphically designing these things, making them look fun. So yeah, I really like these black and white ones. I don't know if you can tell, but big fan. Cool. So that's matches. You can go back and look at the entire match history after title matches. So once, if you're looking at this, once River / Pin, once this weekend is over, the weekend of the 30th of March is over, I'll update this schedule to have the results of this first act and also the matches coming out in the second act. So I'm going to try and do that like the week after those title matches premiere. I'm going to try and keep on this regularly. I'd like this to become a thing. It'd be cool. But we'll see. Who knows? Dun, dun, dun. Cool. So we'll go back. That's matches. Matches are the current schedule, the upcoming schedule, and all past matches along with their results. So if you clicked on one of those view schedules, it would show you the match that happened as well as the outcome and the percentage of like what the person did, how the person did in the match. Take him out for a walk and he's done here. Got to touch some grass. You're damn right. I sure do. Do you have PO box? PO box? No, unfortunately not. I don't know. What does that even stand for? Post office box? Is that what PO stands for? Is that a dumb question? Anna, what does PO stand for? Anna, post office box. Okay, that's what I thought. That'd make no sense. If it was anything else. I'll take yes. Please take me out for a walk. Yep. We usually even just open a window. I feel like that would help, but that's all right. Yes, I'm very excited. Gonna be a fun time. Cool. So we'll move on to the third tab, the records tab. This is all the stats, all the records that I usually post, but I decided to put them on a website instead. So these I'm also going to try and update after every title match. I'm keeping them in real time on a separate Excel sheet, but I will try and update the website with them post-title matches. So for example, this is the entire history of Fandom Champions all the way up till Brittany's last win. If Brittany loses and someone else is the new champion after that title match, I will try and add them here. But you can scroll down. You have the Fandom Teams champions. Anyone who's held both belts at the same time is in this category. Anyone who's played a perfect game over here. You have all the points records. So the 3 through 5 round points records, career points records, undefeated streaks, win streaks, the whole 9. Teams records, same thing. Most wins and accuracy as you get further down right here. So for example, like Brittany passed me at the end of last year. So if this website was a thing, then after the final act aired, I would have updated this list to say Brittany is now here. Through Dreamers. Yeah, she's watching Ants in the other room right now with the Z, Ants. And the answer is maybe sooner than you think. Is it going to go well? Is she going to be mad when she loses? Probably. If she loses. But if she loses one, maybe she won't lose because she would be so mad that if she did that, she never would. Correct at the moment. But we'll see. The schedule is an ever-changing thing. She's going to be really mad that I just said when you lose, and now she's going to lose it and make sure she doesn't lose. Cool. So yes, that's accuracy for singles. There's also accuracy for teams. You can open and close these at your leisure. Wins for singles teams and for individuals who have won the most teams win. So like Tim played on 2 different teams, won a lot, is up to 24. Joe has played on 2 different teams, but also one of his teams has had 22 wins. So definitely up there. These lists can change, and they do change all the time. For sure. Get Dames of Ren. That's actually not bad at all. That's actually a very good suggestion. I think Maggie would rather do anything else besides play again, but yeah. Cool. Then you go down here, you have stuff like the Perfect Round 1 Club, the KO Club, all the points clubs, which is wild because if you look here, you have a couple people in 500. Recently, Brittany and Joe entered the 500 points club, but they're not close to Scully, who's in the 600 points club. And then you have Ren, Guns and Chips in 500, no one in 600, no one in 700, and Wookiee's chilling all the way up here in 800. So crazy shit. This obviously changes all the time. People move up in points clubs as they get more points. You have the event winners of tournaments, of last one standings, frenzies, the whole 9, title defense history, and even challenger history. If you ever challenge for the belt, you're on here. That was a very long-winded way of going through the records, but those records exist on all of the individual like division pages. So FanZone, I went through all of FanZone throughout the break and figured out what the records for that are. So if you go to FanZone, go to records, you can see all the records. Perfect games. Brian, you're in perfect games. Perfect game in FanZone means you clean swept every point, knocked them out. Points records, the whole 9, all the same deal. So yes, those are the things with the records, with the rankings. Those will be ever changing. I'm hoping to update those as we go. So I'll share when those are updated on the Facebook page. I'll share a link to the website and be like, rankings are updated. Check them out. Things like that. Now, there's one thing I've been really excited to get to. Some people have messaged me about it individually. I've seen those messages. I was planning on replying, but then I was kind of like, let me just wait and see if they watch tonight, and then I'll reply to them after. But it's the multi-blog. So you have Fandom Fights, Movie Melee. That's what I was doing last night when I kept like clicking the wrong thing. I was like right-clicking by accident. FanZone, Multiplex Awards, and the multi-blog. I am wildly excited for this. So here we go. As you see, I've already written 3 things. And before we get this, I guess I have been neglecting the chat. So let me just look at the chat real quick. That would be fire. Carry us. Yes. Well, no. You're watching Ants. You paused it. Maggie's gonna. How's Maggie gonna? You can't let Maggie carry you. You need to help. You need to contribute. As another man with a beard, how do you keep your beard so nice and trimmed? Well, this feels like a detraction from what we were doing, but I would just say like regular showers, maybe some beard oil here and there. Yes, I just showered. She said I don't shower. She's lying. But let's get to the blog. Very excited for this. I would like. I realize the thing we do has like maybe 90 fans total, and most of those fans are people who like participate and play in the thing. But that's fine. I still would love to treat this thing as though it is a thing that deserves fans. Like I run the thing, but I'm also a huge fan of it. I love watching Brittany and Tyler play. I love watching Dylan like go from what he was last year to what he became this year. I love watching all those things. And so I'd like it if we could treat this as though it's something we are also fans of, which I'm sure many of you are, which is great. But we could even build more fans of it on top of that, which would be awesome. So the multi-block. Here's how it's going to work. I don't have an official like amount of times I'd like to release things. It'd be cool if I could do a new one like once a week, but that might be asking a lot, especially since I feel like a lot of people are going to volunteer in the beginning and then sort of not do another one, which is fine. I'm not about to try and recruit people to become like staff writers to pump out an article each week. We definitely don't need to do that. So we can do. I tried not to get distracted, but I think Amaru just called me Tim. He's not even on screen, Rue. I also love Tim though, if that's who you were talking about. So these are the 3 articles I decided to write. Top 10 greatest all around multiplex players, so people who are good in both divisions of trivia. All the people who challenged for fandom belts for the first time in 2023. You have people like Kaiser, Rue, Abel. They're all on there. And then 5 best and 5 worst multiplex team names. Has nothing to do with trivia, but more just like related to the whole fandom of it all. These are the types of things I would be looking for. So if you have an idea for an article, let me know. And I will tell you, like, if that's the kind of thing I'm looking for. Here's a couple of things that I'm not looking for. That's fair. Appreciate it, Rue. Yeah, no, I get it. Here's the kind of things I'm not looking for. I love the idea. I love that people are film fans. And I realize there's a very close relationship between that and what we do here. But what I'm not really looking for is like, here's Scorsese's 10 greatest movies, or here's why the 60s changed the era of film. Not that all sounds very interesting to me, but I'm not really looking to put that kind of thing here. What I'd like this to be is articles and blogs related to trivia and to FanZone and fandom melee, like to the teams, to the people who play. So like, for example, what I wrote here, like 10 greatest all around multiplex players, has everything to do with like people's trivia playing abilities. Yes, it is nightmare fuel. It's absolutely terrifying. I hope you're not enjoying yourself. So the other thing I don't want, I would like us all to try and be nice to each other. Not even nice, just not mean. If you pitch me like, Nick, I want to do an article called 10 biggest jackasses in trivia, I'm going to be like, no. Like that, who is that helping? My opinion on it is if an article is critiquing someone's like trivia ability or even like their team name, that's something they've put out there for like public criticism. So like I have no problem going on and saying like Nazario is a good player, but he sucks sometimes. Because it's not me talking about Nazario as a person. It has nothing to do with Nazario as a person. It has everything to do with his trivia playing ability, which hopefully no one takes too seriously. And I realize the irony coming from someone like that, but hopefully like everyone out there can take a little criticism and maybe even laugh at themselves from time to time. For example, with the best and worst team names. Here's a hint. My very, very good friend Abel is on a team that may or may not have made the list on the wrong side of things. It doesn't mean I don't like the guy. It just means I think his team name sucks. But they're a great team at the end of the day. So that's sort of what I'm looking for. If you have ideas, please let me know. If you want to let me know before you write it, so that way you don't write it and then tell me like, "Hey, I wrote this article," and then I have to be like, you're kind of just writing about why like Tim's a big asshole," and I don't really want to publish something like that. Then feel free, and then once I like approve it, say, "Yeah, I'd love to see something like that." Write it, send it to me. I'll make sure it gets put on here. Like I said, I'm trying to put out one a week. So if like 10 of you all tell me you want to write one and then send me one, it's probably going to be a while. It might be a while before you see yours because I'm going to try and like stagger release them. And then once they're written, I'll put a post. Once they're published, I'll put a post on the Facebook group that says like new article up, written by Javi, written by Dylan. And I'll put it on the thing, and everyone can come and read it. And I think it's a fun way to sort of get the fandom for this going, because we don't talk about it a lot, but the Schmodown was a thing. I was a big fan of it. I would have loved to be in those shows that talked about it as though it wasn't a sport, as though they were on ESPN talking about a sport that had just happened. I would love for this to become not exactly like that for reasons. But you're welcome, Zaddies. Not exactly like that for reasons, but similar to the way I used to feel about it and the way I think a lot of you used to feel about it. I would like this to become similar to that. So the blog is something cool. I think anyone and everyone could contribute to. If you're interested, please let me know. And then the stats, all the rest of the stuff I went through is something I'm going to try and keep updated and keep accurate, so that maybe even new people who've never seen this thing that we're doing before can find it and think, hey, maybe this is something I'm missing out on. I'd love to become a fan of it. That was basically the reasoning for putting in all this effort. And at the end of the day, if it doesn't work, I had a lot of fun doing it. So I don't. Me and Tim have this sort of philosophy that we do fandom fights because we love it, and it's fun not to like get a lot of views, even though like that is the goal. We try to make it more fun to watch and more fun to play and more fun for other people to watch. But at the end of the day, we just have fun doing that, whether it's successful or not. Same sort of thing here. But again, the goal is to make it successful and to make people want to interact with it. So that's the goal. Read these articles if you haven't yet. I had a lot of fun writing them. I put a lot of thought into them for sure. And again, nothing is personal. If I said your trivia was trash in one of these, which I don't think I did, but if I ever write an article where I say like this person played the worst match of all time, it has nothing to do with how I feel about you as a person. It's the same way as if we were playing baseball and I said, bro, you had a crappy game and you struck out 3 times, but let's go get a beer. That's sort of that's the mentality I want for people when you go to write these things. So I am gonna, that was sort of the last thing. I went through the Hall of Fame. I went through all of the tabs, including the awards and the blog and all of the stats, records, matches, the whole 9 like that. If you have any questions, now's the time. I answered many of them as I went along, but if you have questions, please let me know. It can be about this. It can be about other things. I'm going to say this now. I don't want to commit to it now, but I am going to say this. I would like to to introduce some kind of show that is dedicated to this, that's not like a round table or a Tim loves movies or Multiplex loves movies, or boxed letterboxed. Oh my god, holy shit, Tim, I love you, but the name of your last show is fucking escaping my memory at the moment where you went through letterbox stuff. Wow, this is gonna kill me. Sorry, buddy. I do. I love you. And I liked the show, actually. I caught a couple episodes, but I can't remember the name of it for shit. Shows like that I loved, but I would love to do one that is just focused around matches and stuff like that. It's very hard for me. I'm trying to figure out how to do it because obviously it'd be difficult for me to host it and say like, oh, so we got a big title match coming up. Like I've got it logged it. Thank you, Javi. Jesus Christ. It's like when people call me Tim. I'm just kidding. But I'd love to have. It's hard for me to host that because I'd love to be like, "Hey, Javi, I'm having you on as a guest. Like, what do you think? We got a title match coming up this week. What do you think's going to happen?" When in the back of my head, we shot it a month ago, and I full well know what happens. It's going to be like very hard for me to do. But I would love to do something like that, where like every week or even every 2 weeks we have a yes, it's very crazy. Or every 2 weeks I have a guest on, whether it's Brittany or Joe or Boatman or Bar or someone who's like doing things. Maybe Igor. I could have Igor on and be like, bro, you just killed it in both divisions in your rookie year. Like, how's it feeling? A friend of mine, Colton Roberts, used to have a show. I think it was called the Supernova Show. I don't know if he knows that I watched, but I watched because I actually really liked it. He'd have Robert Kastner on a lot. They'd be on together. They'd talk about a lot of things that I would skip over because they talk about like NFL and TV and things I didn't watch. But I would skip to like movie reviews, and I'd skip to when they would talk out. They'd have a segment where they talked about trivia, what was going on in the fan leagues at the time. And they would talk about the matches that just came out. I would like to do something like that at some point. This website could be the home of it. But yeah, that's something I'm interested in as well. In an effort to like sort of grow the fandom of this, not just like fandom play, but of this. So yeah, any other questions? Please fire off. It used to be, I don't fully know what that is. I just know that it was called the Supernova Show, and I used to watch it. But yeah, it was great. They talked about things. It was really fun. I think they had Joe on once or twice. Joe definitely talked about himself a lot on the one episode that I watched, which is fair. Like, go off, dude. At the time, he was winning freaking everything, so I was like, go off. But yeah, I'd love to do something like that. It's a work in progress. Obviously, it's not my first priority. Obviously, I'm going to be trying to maintain this, but maybe we'll get it started this year. That'd be great. My night's going well. Thanks for asking. Appreciate it. Anna's in the other room watching ants. I'm talking to my computer and the wall about this website that I put way too many man hours in to make, but I think it turned out pretty good. You've got the YouTube link at the top. You've got the Facebook and YouTube links at the bottom. I'm probably going to share this on my personal Facebook page at some point. Like, I know a lot of people in my regular life that probably don't know what I'm up to, and I'm going to be like, hey guys, like I put some work into this. Feel free to check it out. Maybe that grows it. And if anyone else wants to do the same, I think that'd be good. I encouraged you all last year, like, especially even if it's just matches you played in, you wanted to share it and be like, guys, look, I did a thing. I think that'd be a good way to keep it going. Saw Origin at Secret Screening. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. I don't know what Origin is. Just tuning in, saw Origin at Secret Screening. Yep. Don't know what Origin is. I am not caught up on current movie things. And the MCU is breaking my heart. So maybe that's why I put so much effort into it. I was like, I need a new obsession. But yeah, here we are. Questions, comments, concerns can be about the website, about the blog, about that show I just talked about, literally anything. If you want my opinions on like the awards from last night, I'd be happy to give those. Cody's right. I do love the awards. I hit it for a while, but big fan. I thought they could be great if they were done right, and I think we did them right this year and last. So yeah, I'm becoming a very big fan of those. Congratulations to the winners, to Robert, Brittany, Boatman for taking Cody for taking home the big prizes. And yeah, all the Hall of Fame people. That was really fun to put together. I like surprising people, though sometimes I feel they would appreciate it if I just told them things. Again, any other questions? Fire off. I'm probably going to hang around for another couple minutes. and then I'm gonna go watch ants because that's what we're doing now. Woody Allen does not have the voice for an ant, or for most things, but what are you gonna do? Which rookie are you excited to see debut this year in singles or teams? So the rookie roster was kind of set. And then Joseph Olivas commented on the post. It's actually the person you're playing, Brian. I'm excited to see you as well, but Joseph has this long-standing history in Melee as a former singles and teams champion who was basically called a robot, who randomly, like, if you had given me $100 and been like, guess who just signed up on the Facebook post, I never would have guessed Joseph. But he did, and now he's debuting in singles. So I'm very excited to see that. We have a lot of interesting teams coming out. Joe obviously has left David. I think a very big story there is like, who was Joe going to team with, and now we know that he's teamed with Igor. I think that's going to be dangerous, and I think it's going to catapult Igor to a new level because he had a great rookie season, but his rookie season reminds me a lot of Brittany's, where Brittany actually started, I think, 2-3. Igor did the same this year, where they actually ended with a negative record, but it's because they catapulted themselves so fast that they were playing like the best of the best. Like Igor had an upset in the round one of the tournament. Brittany had an upset in her first round one of a tournament. And then they have to play like these monsters. And then all of a sudden they're in title pictures, and that's where the losses come. But as a rookie, it's kind of hard to figure that out. So, low battery. So I'm excited to see Igor. I think partnering with Joe is definitely going to boost him in FANDOM. He's obviously already made a name for himself in Melee. He had no issues there. So I'm very excited to see that rookie team debut. It's going to be a good time. I am excited, Brian, for Eric and Brian, mostly because they're two totally new players to FANDOM. A lot of the other teams are just sort of mix and mashups of former teams that split up and reformed with other people. So I'm looking forward to see some actual new blood in the water. No pun intended, because Jaws is a thing now, but it's going to be fun. Favorite movie of last year? Oof, again, I did not see many movies. I liked Across the Spider-Verse very much. I did watch some of Oppenheimer, and it is very good. I just haven't finished it. Which is very unlike me, but what are you gonna do? Guardians 3 was good. I didn't see a lot of stuff. Dead Reckoning. Dead Reckoning was probably my favorite, which is weird. I'm finding out now that like people didn't love it as much, or they were like, yeah, it's kind of a letdown. And I'm like, really? I thought it was dope, but maybe that was just me. Um, cool. Any other questions? Sure. Cool. Great. Well, everybody, thank you for being here. Unless I see some others, we're about 45 minutes in. Please go visit this website. I've been looking at the analytics. I can see people are doing that already. Please keep doing it. Explore. I put a lot of information on here. Basically, all of the records, tabs, and data and Excel sheets that we've had, I've made them public to you. This is them. So check them out. Go check. I did a lot of like artsy things, putting thumbnails for acts in the matches thing. So go check those out. And tell me if you hate them. I don't care. Cool. The fact that you saw them, I'm like, cool, great, love it, appreciate it. And as of right now, if you want to message me with article ideas, please do. I think maybe not next week, but the week after would be when I'm looking to start releasing them on a weekly basis. But maybe next week. Who knows? So yeah, appreciate you all. Thank you very much, and have a good night. Anna, how's ants? Her stunned silence is very reassuring. Everyone, have a good night. Be well.